My stepdad's family booked a private room at the resort where I used to work as a hostess. Laughing, my stepsister said, "Let's have the family failure serve us. I want her to clean up after we eat, herself." I just smiled and said, "Actually, this resort has new management, me." Their faces when security kindly asked them to leave? That was the best tip I ever got. Let's rewind about 10 years. I was 19 when my mom married Liam, the most arrogant and controlling man I'd ever met. He had some money, not millions, but enough to act like he was better than everyone else. He also had a daughter, Teresa, who was my age. She was spoiled and mean, always acting like she was too good for others. To her, I was just a charity case her dad dragged in. From the start, life got tough. I wasn't just unwanted, I was free help. My mom was either too in love or too scared to speak up, so Liam and Teresa treated me like a maid. I had to cook, clean, do laundry, basically wait on them hand and foot. If I ever said no, Liam would say, "You should be thankful I'm letting you live here, if not, go find somewhere else." But I couldn't, I was still in school, broke, and had nowhere else to go. Teresa made sure I felt small. She'd throw dirty laundry on my bed or spill drinks on purpose, then tell me to clean it. If I complained, she'd laugh and say, "You're just building character." Liam encouraged all of it. He thought I had to earn everything, while Teresa got spoiled for doing nothing. By the time I turned 21, I had saved up enough money to leave. I worked part-time and went to college. The day I moved out was the first time I felt free. Liam made it clear I wasn't welcome anymore. He also cut off my mom financially, blaming her for raising a daughter who didn't appreciate him. She pretended things were okay, but deep down, we both knew she'd married a terrible man. Fast forward 7 years. I had done well. I started working at a fancy resort in Miami right after college, beginning as a hostess. Over time, I worked hard and moved up, eventually managing the whole place. The owner, an older man with no kids, decided to retire. I had the experience, the right contacts, and a good reputation, so I found an investor and bought the resort. It was my dream come true. One day, I saw a reservation under the name Liam Parker, my stepdad. At first, I thought, there's no way it's him. But it was him, Teresa, and their whole family. When I read the special request on the reservation, I almost laughed. They had asked for me by name. "We want the family failure to serve us one last time," the note said. Teresa added, "I want her to clean up after our dinner, personally." This wasn't just a joke, they wanted to humiliate me. I decided I'd handle it myself. The setup. On the night of the dinner, they arrived acting like royalty. Teresa wore all designer clothes and had her usual smug look. Liam was loud, bossy, and rude to the staff. I watched from the security room and waited for the right moment. They were laughing and joking about me. I could hear them through the security mics. "I hope she cries," Teresa giggled. "If she spits in our food, we'll just get her fired," Liam said. They had no idea. I let them talk, let them dig their own hole. Then, when it was time for the hostess to show up, I walked in. The moment everything changed. The room went dead silent. Teresa froze with her wine glass halfway to her lips. Liam's grin disappeared. I smiled, calm and confident. "Good evening, I hear you requested me as your hostess tonight." No one said a word. Teresa opened her mouth, probably to insult me, but I kept talking. "Actually, I won't be your hostess, because this resort is under new management, mine." Liam looked like he was about to faint. "Teresa?" She choked on her drink. I went on, enjoying the moment. "Since you asked for special treatment, let me give you something really exclusive." I pulled out my phone and pressed a few buttons. Security came in. "Due to past behavior and harassment of staff," I said sweetly, "I'm going to have to ask you to leave." Liam tried to argue. Teresa looked furious. "You can't do this," she yelled. "I can," I said, and I just did. Liam demanded to see the owner. "I am the owner," I said. Security stayed calm. "Sir, ma'am, please leave." They were furious. Liam yelled. Teresa screamed. But watching them get escorted out, that was the best feeling ever. And the best part? It was all caught on camera. Aftermath. I thought that was the end of it. Nope. In the lobby, Liam started shouting. "I want to talk to the owner," he yelled. "You're all fired." One of the guards said calmly, "Sir, she is the owner." Liam's face turned bright red. He was shocked. In his mind, I was still the girl he had kicked out, still poor and powerless. But I wasn't. I had made it, and he couldn't stand it. And Teresa? She was standing there, furious. Her carefully done makeup couldn't hide the anger twisting her face. "You did this just to embarrass us," she shouted. "You planned it." I smiled slowly, calm and satisfied. I didn't make the reservation. You did. She shut her mouth. She knew I was right. I figured that was it, they'd leave angry, and I could move on. I should have known better. Lies, smears, and a legal threat. The next morning, my assistant called me. You might want to check social media. I opened my phone, and froze. Teresa had posted a long rant trashing my resort. Horrible experience at resort name. The so-called owner is a fake who abuses her power and throws out paying guests. Avoid this place. The comments were awful. Her rich friends, who had never even been there, were piling on. Wow, that's crazy. Who lets people like that run businesses? Total power trip. Sue her. Then Liam left a nasty 1-star Google review. This place is a joke. Staff is rude. I was kicked out for no reason. Stay away. It was all lies, but I wasn't going to let them ruin what I'd worked so hard for. I had proof, security footage, staff who saw everything, and connections in the industry who trusted me. So I did the smart thing, I called my lawyer. The legal response. Liam and Teresa thought they could lie and get away with it, but they forgot, I had power now, and a legal team. My lawyer wrote a strong letter telling them to stop. If these lies are not taken down immediately, we will take legal action. We have video proof and witnesses. We will also ask for damages for hurting the business. I sent the letter straight to Teresa's email. A few hours later, the post was gone. The fake reviews? Deleted. No apology. Typical. I thought, maybe now it's really over. Nope. A surprise inspection. A week later, my assistant rushed into my office, looking nervous. There's an inspector here, she said. Something feels weird. I was confused. We get inspected regularly, but I hadn't heard anything about one. I went to meet him. He was already poking around, acting suspicious. We got a complaint, he said, barely looking at me. I need to check for health code violations. A complaint? I knew our place was spotless. We always passed inspections easily. Who filed it? I asked. He wouldn't say. That was a red flag. Then I saw the paperwork. Liam's name. I almost laughed. Of course it was him. He had reported fake problems, hoping to shut us down. But here's the thing, I run this place like a machine. Everything is clean, organized, and up to code. The inspector spent hours looking through the kitchen and storage. He found nothing. At the end, he sighed. Everything looks good, we'll close the case. I smiled sweetly. Tell whoever filed that complaint, if they try this again, they'll regret it. I'll sue you for harassment, Liam yelled, giving me a smug look. Bet this isn't the first time something like this happened, huh? I just shook my head. But that wasn't the end of it. Guess who showed up that night? My security team caught someone sneaking into the resort late that night. It was Teresa. She was drunk, wearing a fancy dress, and trying to get past the gate. Security stopped her, but she wouldn't leave. I want to talk to her, she whined. She needs to understand she can't treat us like this. Security called me. I had two options. Have her escorted off quietly. Call the police. I went with option 2. When the cops arrived, Teresa totally lost it. You can't do this, I know my rights, she screamed. Spoiler, her rights didn't include trespassing. The police gave her a formal warning, and now she had a record of it. The last straw, Liam tries to sue me. A few weeks later, I got legal papers. Liam was suing me. His reason? Emotional distress from being asked to leave the resort. I actually laughed out loud. The same man who bullied and humiliated me for years was now playing the victim? My lawyer crushed his case in one meeting. We countersued for legal fees. Liam backed off and dropped the lawsuit. I thought that was the end. I was wrong. Liam and Teresa had lost, but they weren't going down quietly. The spy in my kitchen. About a month later, my staff started talking. Hey, did you hire someone new? There's this guy asking weird questions in the kitchen. I hadn't hired anyone. So I went to check it out, and sure enough, there was a guy I didn't recognize wearing one of our uniforms, acting like he worked there. I asked him, hey, what's your name? He froze, then forced a smile. I just started last week. Really? I said calmly, because I'm the one who does the hiring. He tried to make something up, but when I asked a real employee to check if he was in the system, he ran, full-on sprinted out the back door. Security chased him and caught him trying to climb a fence. And guess what? He had a hidden camera in his pocket. Guess who sent him? Yep, Liam. They brought the guy back in, and I asked him straight up. At first, he wouldn't talk, so I pulled out my phone and pretended to call the cops. He panicked. Wait, okay, please don't call them. Then he spilled everything. Liam paid him to sneak into the resort, pretend to be an employee, and try to catch me doing something illegal or shady. Too bad for Liam, my place was clean. I had nothing to hide. We got a signed confession, then kicked the guy out for good. Enough was enough. Now I was mad. Liam wasn't just annoying, he was dangerous, and I was done waiting around for his next move. Time to hit back. One of my regular clients at the resort is a top lawyer, not just any lawyer, a specialist in business fraud and corporate takedowns. I called him. Hypothetically, I said, what if someone tried to plant fake evidence at my business? He said, if you have proof, you can bury them. So I sent him everything, the video, the confession, witness statements. His response? This is going to be fun. 1 week later, Liam's business license was under investigation. Liam didn't just have too much time on his hands. He ran a business, luxury vacation rentals, big fancy houses for rich tourists. The problem? He'd been cutting corners for years. Fake safety inspections, unlicensed workers, off-the-books cash deals. And thanks to my lawyer, every single violation came to light. City officials started digging. They pulled bank statements, inspected his properties. And what did they find? Tax fraud, unsafe living conditions, shady business practices everywhere. One by one, his rentals were shut down. He tried to fight it, threw tantrums at City Hall, but the law doesn't care about ego. Within 6 months, Liam lost everything. But Teresa, she had one more trick. Just when I thought it was finally over, she showed up. Someone's here who says she's family. My receptionist buzzed. She's crying. I didn't even have to guess. I sighed, let her in. She looked rough, puffy eyes, fancy clothes. She clearly hadn't changed in days. I know we've had our differences, she said, voice shaking, but I need help. I leaned back. Help? From me? My dad lost everything. I was living off his money. I need a job. Anything. The same woman who once called me a disgrace, now begging for work. I didn't even blink. You want a job? I asked. She nodded fast. Great, I said with a smile. I've got an opening in housekeeping. You'll be cleaning rooms. Her face dropped. You're joking. Nope. I can't clean rooms. Then I can't help you. She stood there, stunned, silent, for the first time in her life. I let the silence sit. You should go, I said, before security needs to walk you out again. She left. And that was the last time I ever saw her. With Liam out of business and Teresa out of options, I thrived. The resort boomed. I opened a second property. My name carried real weight in the industry. And them? Liam, bankrupt. Teresa, working retail. Me? I was finally exactly where I was meant to be. Winning. 1 week later, I got one last call. Not from family, from the IRS. Liam's finances weren't just messy, they were criminal. Fraud. Tax evasion. Illegal real estate deals. I didn't have to do a thing, the government did the dirty work for me. Liam tried to flee the country. He was arrested at the airport. Pathetic, just like he made me feel all those years ago. And Teresa? No money, no family, no one left to help her. She called my mom for a place to stay. My mom said no. It was over. People like Liam and Teresa? They think money and power will protect them forever. But the truth? They always destroy themselves. I just helped speed it up. And I don't regret a single thing.